Disciplined stoners. What's your discipline? You a stoner? That's cool. So are we.
I'm high a lot. It's weird to finally say that with pride. I'm high a lot. Being high has helped me with my anxiety. It's helped my social skills.
Love and light. Welcome to Disciplined Stoners Podcast with your host Ellevan.
And my name is Winnie.
And we are the gateway drug to mindfulness. One up and take a hit. And welcome back to another episode of Disciplined Stoners. I'm your host Ellevan.
My name is Winnie.
And we are the gateway drug to mindfulness. And today, yo, Win, we're at like our favorite spot.
I know.
We're at Sticky Nuggz in Fort York, and we're with the most tuned in bud tender that you will probably ever meet in your life. This is Dustin.
What's going on?
So happy to have you here, bro.
What's up, G?
Get your joints up. I just dove right into the intro because he's so many things and he's so much and interesting, and we've become friends throughout our time coming here. And yeah, I just guess I would just dive right in and let you introduce yourself. But what do you got to say, Win?
Just that, like, you're one of the most knowledgeable weed people that I've ever met, and I'm excited to bring some of that language to the show today.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Right on.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never done this before.
I love it.
Right.
Okay, so you know a lot about weed.
Yeah.
Why?
I've studied it my whole life. Basically, my dad's a grower. He brought me into it. And then from that point forward, I was hooked.
What was your first experience with weed? Can you remember?
Yeah. I was probably like 11 years old.
11? Nice.
We were skateboarding, and my buddy stole a bunch of weed from his older brother. Basically, we just sessioned and skateboarded all day, and then, yeah, we just chased it after that.
There's such a special thing with like flow state and doing things of movement and being high.
Yeah. Snowboarding.
Yeah.
Do you remember that young being like, whoa, like this is really something special?
Yeah,
or
I do. I remember being like, this isn't bad.
Oh.
This isn't the shit they told you it was.
Yes, I remember that. I think at 11 years old, I was still probably living under the stigma. My dad used to leave the bathroom smelling interesting. That's all I knew. And then my mom was like, that's the dirty hippies do that shit. And my mom was out there drinking champagne and doing coke on first class flights, like
it's funny.
Stressed out.
It's funny because my dad was he was a stoner and he blazed. My mom's like dead sober. She doesn't drink. She only smokes cigarettes. And so
cigarettes though. So
yeah.
We all have a vice.
And then so for me, just her accepting that fact was like, it was like getting blood from a stone. You know what I mean? It was not gonna fly. So I don't know. I got in shit for years, and then one day she said, "I can't stop you." So that's really where it blossomed.
Yeah.
Into what it is today.
And where is it today? You are at the front line. So as Disciplined Stoners, what we wanted to do is like share the actual voice. One, what type of dope experience and access to the type of person Dustin is that you can get by coming to Sticky Nuggz, but also the lens of what choices a consumer makes for their product is 100% in the hands of this man. Mm-hmm. And the people in this position as a bud tender. And it often seems like it feels like that what I'm getting from bud tenders, it's somewhat like perhaps underappreciated in just how much power you hold. So we wanted to give you this space to like express like what you're feeling about products, what impressions brands have made on you, like what are your favorite products. Like I'll just like ask you that, but also feel free to tell us your history in growing. And you and I have geeked out so much on terps.
Might as well start there.
Yeah, let's geek out on the plant. Like,
okay, so pretty much, I don't know. I was like 18 or something. I got in a bunch of trouble. I won't get into that.
Yeah.
But I just said if I stick around, things are gonna get worse. So I actually met up with the seed company in Amsterdam, and they invited me out to work for them. It was Delta 9 Labs, and I flew out there, got to know the crew. Next thing you know, they flew me out to California, where I ended up working at Mendo for a little while.
Let's go. At where, Mendo?
Yeah.
Lit.
Potter Valley.
Let's go.
And then
in what capacity were you? Can you talk about that?
Oh, full cultivation, yeah.
Cultivation, growing.
Yeah, full cultivation, like you're at like 2,000 meters up in the mountains.
You-
What you guys see on TV, all those ghetto, sketchy dirt roads, that's all real.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all real.
And you were there for that experience.
Oh, yeah.
This is what I can feel. I can feel this deep knowledge from you.
This is where you sponge your knowledge. You can't just, when you're studying cannabis, you can't just think you know everything. There's just now educational, roads to success in this industry. So in the black market, it was networking and building relationships with those who have been doing it for their entire lives, back before any sort of regulation, medicinal or whatever happened.
Yeah.
So wherever you're going to find these guys is where you find them.
And they're going to recognize talent and passion and focus like you had.
The kids who want to learn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's
How old were you when you were in California?
I think I was 19 or 20.
Wow.
I was really young. Yeah,
We were both 20 chasing our dreams in California.
Yeah.
And now we're both
for that,
33.
bro.
In Toronto smoking weed, talking about those good old times.
I mean, yeah, it was wild. A lot of work, like we said earlier.
So did you have like what would be called like a guru or a master? Like when you go train?
Yeah. So basically, like when I flew
Head
out
grower.
there, we were like, it was me and Ed, and we basically hooked up with this farmer. This dude owned his. You basically, these guys are landowners. They're not really like master growers. They're just old dudes who own a bunch of land who have been growing for time.
Word.
And it's all networking, who you meet, blah 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 blah. And when you do find that one connection or that one person that might be able to help you on your journey, right, and you can build that, and then you go there. But it's really just the old timers out there that you're learning from.
So when you get the opportunity to interact with them, was it just like, tell me everything you know, or they were like, hey, you're over here, this station chapter? Did they have it worked out? Like,
No, it was like getting blood from a stone. These guys don't want to talk.
right? That's what I assume. That's why
They don't want to talk. So where you can pick up little points with them, like it's just trying to, you know what I mean? It's just trying to learn where you can, and
I totally know what you mean when it comes
it's
to like
very
working.
difficult to sort of network with, a 65-year-old when you're 21.
And they're kind of genius and impatient.
Yes.
Like this is my experience like with artists too, like in studios, like the really established ones, like the OGs, like they just want to move. Like I'm at work right now. Like don't bother me, kid.
Exactly,
so
yeah.
if you can't learn from over the shoulder, which luckily that's exactly how I learned, then you're fucked. Like if you're looking for someone to like lay it out for you, like you can't learn from a master like that. And I think by learning from a master is one of the best ways to learn in life.
100%.
Seems like that you have to build the skill of taking initiative, and I think that's kind of lost. I know that was one thing that I did not do well in business at first, right? Because I was like, what if I do something wrong? Like the fear of failure always was like,
That's
I
huge,
better
yeah.
get someone else to tell me what to do so I can do it properly, instead of like doing something and then being like, look at what I did, and whether or not it was received,
That's where I am.
Different story.
The
but-
teachers are like, this is not inside the lines, Ellevan. And I'm like, yo, motherfucker, these are brand new lines.
But yeah, after Cali, I actually got invited to go out to Denver to do the media coverage for High Times for their first legal
What?
Cannabis Cup. So me and I
Holy
flew out there and
fuck.
did that. I got to meet, that was when I really sort of got to meet everyone in the industry, like breeders and that kind of
Yeah.
thing. So I got to meet all
Isn't
of
that
my
fulfilling?
idols. Oh, bro, you have no idea. No idea. Yeah, and then from there, it was British Columbia. I spent the past, I only
Okay.
got back actually
You
in
really-
2017.
You've done the weed circuit.
You know what I mean?
You went to Amsterdam, you said.
Yeah.
You went to California.
Yeah.
You went to Denver.
Yeah,
You went to BC.
yeah. And then I
There's
And
no
that's-
more weed capitals.
And that story also, like,
There's no more weed capitals.
but that probably won't happen anymore.
Not in the way
No,
that it did for
that's-
him.
There was that very small point
The
in
legacy.
time where you could access things that you can't access.
And they're gone now.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
lots of these lands have been raided and shit.
they got not only been raided, they've been bought up. Oh, yeah, bought up, different owners. You know what I mean? Guys have died. These guys are
it's kind
old
of better
guys.
than rated.
So, okay, hold on. Yo, so this has shifted my perception of you too, because I knew you were deep, but like really the legal industry seems to be failing on championing those who have put in the work before it was documented.
Yeah.
But then it's a whole new business model now where, as Winnie said, you have to take initiative.
Well,
Wow.
I mean,
Because we wanted to discuss the state of the industry a little bit and the insight you offer as a bud tender and the effect you have on people. And like, based on what you specifically know as a person, like, yeah, you really do have a valuable input. But yeah, so how do you feel after all this? Like what, because you've manifested into this person with all this knowledge from all these experiences, where do you feel your, this value is best spent, I guess is my question. Because like literally you've just done the golden Bible Belt of the world of weed.
I really did it when I was out there. I just took the chance to sort of soak up the best parts about everything. So I mean, where everything's gonna lie with me is in cultivation. But when it comes down to cannabis as a whole, I mean, I took the best parts from everything that I saw around. So that's the market, what was available, strains, different extracts. This like the hype before it came up to Canada. Like I said, I was one of the first persons to ever try cookies when it dropped in 2010. I chased it. Like flavors like the lemonade, flavors like,
In 2010 in the States?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
where did that drop then?
it was like the whole Bay Area, Frisco.
So it was in
Nice.
California. Yeah. Dude, Burner's done great work. What do you think about cookies? You guys just smoked a Cookies E85. So tell me about that. Like you do in the store.
I don't know much about this.
No,
I
but you
do
know more than me.
Yeah, so it is. So Cookies is it's a Cookies Grandiflora collab. I don't know the whole cross, but I do.
Okay,
know.
but I go in with the number and I'm like E85. No, that's
So
the
it's
laughing gas. He's
Project
like, no,
4.
it's not.
So this is Cookies and Grandiflora collaboration with them using something called 4516, which is a special project they did with Cookies, sort of a hype strain.
Watch the tappy tappy.
Oh, my bad. Sort of a hype strain, and basically, it's just a way for them to keep an edge on the hype, not allowing genetics to be revealed, that kind of thing.
They're not putting their brand out there, their strains out there on their brand. It's like you have to look deeper.
Exclusivity.
Or
right?
know a Dustin.
Yeah, basically.
So do you think, because I love that, and in terms of branding, that's such a good idea. Do you think it actually is something rare, or is it something that like?
No.
Yeah.
Do I think it's something rare? No. I think it's just a really nice phenotype, and you know what I mean. If you got seeds of anything, you can run them and find a really nice one.
Yeah, I mean, it tastes beautifully. Like when I first smoked it, I was like, oh, this has like a buttery popcorn something happening.
It's crazy.
It was really nice, and the high is just. I'm very much enjoying it.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, it's one of their better drops for sure. I haven't liked a lot that they've done up here just because of the fact that it's very different from what they do in the States.
Yeah. And you sort of have that first-hand knowledge.
Yeah,
so
because
you're
if you see
comparing.
what they're doing, it's kind of biased because you know what I mean. You
Yeah.
see what they're doing and you see it up here, and it almost begs the question, as someone whose legacy. Why didn't you source the best growers up here? Why did you choose to go so commercial?
I think everyone's asking that. I think that even on just even sympathetic level, just like, why wouldn't you get people who have been doing this for so long and give them opportunities? Especially if it's not accessible for them to, start their own thing legally. And I think probably a lot of legacy is sitting back
there's a lot of
right
legacy
now.
sitting back laughing and all kinds of stuff. I mean, I don't know if you guys know about the whole beef between Gage Green Genetics and Gage Cannabis.
No.
Oh, no.
Okay, so you all know Gage Cannabis came out at the same time Cookies and Lemonade and all that stuff dropped. That is all owned by Cookies.
Yusuf, right?
Yeah.
That's all owned by Cookies, Gage. Right?
Yeah.
They were operating here in
So pretty much, Burner stole the name, stole everything, stole a bunch of websites, made a bunch of website domains that he's being sued right now in court by Gage Green, and he's gonna lose. So,
Whoa.
yeah.
So that partnership with Gage carrying Cookies into Canada, pretty much.
was all based on like nonsense. Yeah.
In what capacity has Burner kind of replicated their representation
Yeah,
in Canada in the States or in Canada as well?
I believe both in Canada and the U.S.
Because Gage is big in the States, I think.
Yeah,
They're,
Gage
like,
has
all over
stores,
the
like
place.
retail stores.
Exactly.
And
So
Yeah.
if you go look up Gage and the Gage.
they had, what do we used to do? The Fire OG from Gage.
Really? They have a Fire OG?
Yeah, they
There's
used
a
to
fire,
be
strawberry Fire OG.
Oh, yeah, the strawberry
Because
fire.
Yeah,
OG.
strawberry Fire OG. That's what it was.
Short high, but I liked it so much.
Very short
It
high,
was
but I liked
short.
it. What else did they have that we used to like back in the day?
I've never smoked any of it.
Well,
I just know of it.
where they lost me was the banana bread.
Oh, they had.
Oh, that was that PK Vietnamese Black Cross. Yeah, that was weird.
I overpaid and got under-delivered.
Their first round of orange was
They're
delightful.
orange. Gage is orange. That's what, and it coincided with their brand.
Yeah.
Which I think is Sherbinsky's orange.
Sherbinsky's, yeah, that's fire.
You know what I mean? So I'm pretty sure that color's copywritten.
Good guy over at Gage though.
Yeah.
Yusuf, he was good.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
What do you smoke? Like, what's your favorite?
Yeah,
thing to
talk
smoke
about
right
some
now?
products, bro. I want to know what you care about. Like, I came in here like a hype bitch talking about cookies, but you know the cuts.
Not a lot of stuff I like on this market. I mean, there's a couple of good cuts. I like a lot of hazes. Hazes are coming out strong now.
Yeah,
From
they
who?
are.
Weed Me's doing killer stuff.
They really are.
Yeah,
Weed Me
is
has
doing
come
killer
back
stuff, yeah.
heavy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
their Black Mountain side was incredible.
Their indica must have had some mints in it, eh? You could taste that. Mm-hmm. Because they just dropped an indica and sativa, and Jen, shout out Jen from Weed Me, dropped some off in my place, and I was like, I smoked the indica right away. I'm like, this is like a blue mints. Like, you can taste blue and mints.
It's
It's just indica.
They're gonna be dropping something called Dead Hot Strawberries too, so look out for that.
Dead hot.
Dead Hot Strawberries.
So you fuck with Weed Me out of all the things. That's so dope. Congratulations, Weed Me. Do you know what it takes to impress this type of human?
That's
Oh
true.
my God. He pops my balloon on the hype in the most loving way almost every time I come in. It's like, yeah, but you know about that. That's been my experience at Sticky Nuggz overall. I mean, that's the whole culture. Sam always blows my fucking mind. I'll come in here like, yeah, no, but I want the ghost drops that I know of, and I'll get that. And then he's like, yeah, but also just like, fuck, you gotta try this.
You
Like,
gotta try
you
this.
know,
I'm always about you gotta try this.
My
what
dad loves coming to you too.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout
What
out
are
to your
you?
dad.
Thanks.
Shout out to your dad.
Shout out Joe. He's been on. Sorry, Wayne.
What are you growing anything right now?
Of course.
I'm getting ready to.
Okay. What cultivars are you looking to grow?
Just stuff I've held on to for a while. I want to do some pheno hunts, find some new stuff. I have some cuts, be getting ready. I got permanent marker.
Ooh.
So it has that duct tape smell.
Not really.
But-
More of a solvency.
Gas?
Yeah, it's like permanent marker.
Like
So
that.
the cut list goes banana cream.
Yeah,
cake,
no,
jealousy.
not like the duct,
Duct
tape
tape is
smell.
from Archive, and that is a sick ass strain. Archive
Yeah.
seeds. Shout out Archive seeds.
Sick.
So I have banana cream cake, frosted jealousy, the glitter bomb, lemonade,
Glitter bomb?
permanent marker, and cap junkie.
What's glitter bomb?
Glitter bomb. Basically everything I have is from Compound. And
Nice. Shout out
is-
Compound.
Compound genetics no more though.
Oh.
Chris left Compound, so therefore I can't support Compound. But
Shit.
he moved over to Cypher Genetics, so that's where I'm at.
That is some legacy
Loyalty.
loyalty
Yeah,
right there.
you don't see that in the legal market. If my rep left the company, I'd be like, all right, cool. Like, I still fuck with you, but like, who's the new rep at this company?
Yeah.
But you're right, because it operates on a different level.
Right.
And it's basically whatever team they're playing on. Like, that's how sports work too, right? What player do you follow?
Exactly.
Okay, so I want to talk about, because I was in retail as well, so I know the customer bud tender experience.
Yeah.
But do you find that, most people are willing to listen and learn when they walk in, or do they just,
After
what's
I've-
happening with the consumers right
After
now?
I've filled their ear with enough nonsense, they come around.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, at
Does that
first
take a minute, though? Do you have to establish the relationship?
Yeah, a lot of the times they think you're bullshitting them.
Yeah.
They're trying to
Fuck.
upsell.
I know. I
Knowledge
felt
knowledge
that,
comes
too.
with like this little you know what I mean? Like it's like everyone tries to think you know too much or something, and it's really and truly I'd rather you leave happy and with something good than me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Than me to just sell you whatever, because there's so much commercial trash in this market. There's so much stuff that sits in jars for so long and it isn't good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my concern when it comes to consumers, you leaving happy.
Yeah.
Right. And
So if someone comes in like pretty tunnel vision minded of what they want, and you're like, oh, this is not, I'd rather not sell you this, do you try and interject, or are you like, there you go, like,
you know,
here it
if
is?
someone wants what they want and they're pretty dead set on, hey, I'm not going to try to change your mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's what you want. It's
I
kinda,
feel like that's probably a better choice in customer
you got to
service.
pick and choose your battles. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Yeah. You'll find there's all kinds of people who are willing to, you know what I mean, try something new, or, you know, I guess, yeah, try something new. But, yeah, most of the time when it comes to that stuff, you just give them what they want.
Yeah.
Why argue?
Yeah. How many people do you think, or what type of percentage of people are like brand new cannabis users that are coming in right now?
I would say a good chunk of them, at least like 15%.
Really?
15?
Yeah,
Wow.
I get a lot of newbies. I've never done this before. How much do I take? And yada, yada, yada. I'm like, well, you know, the reason we had our rollout the way it is for people like you. So you can't really get high. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, they limit that shit.
Oh, bars.
And
Talk
I
about
was
it.
like, yo, if
Talk
you want to
about
get
it.
high, get the weed. If you don't, you buy the drinks or the edibles.
Right.
Right? So.
So, or,
And
what
it's weird for them to actually be like, yeah, try this thing, but it's going to affect you totally different. If you smoke some weak weed, it's going to get you way higher.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's really how you guys marketed this is a little bit of bullshit.
What are new people wanting on average to try? Are people still into smoking? Is that, are they like, do you want?
I think there's so much choice in the cannabis market now that people are just into trying it all. And that's why you
Nice.
see these crazy infused pre-rolls coming out. Everything's
The botanical terps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, right? And so these things they're all gonna fall off. I don't
Yeah.
think botanicals are gonna last at all. They're already falling off. Live resin and that kind of thing, live extracts are definitely gonna stick around.
Yeah.
Right.
What I hear you guys talk about from a retail perspective, I always observe, because you guys been on the floor level. I was at the floor level a little bit. I hung out at 1922, and I hang out here enough to hear what happens. As I'm being a fucking vagabond artist going through all these stores. But like what I'm hearing is that the mixed bag of the market, what the ask is, what the brands are not preparing for, and even what you talked about price points, the market's between medicinal and consumer market. So it's like when you sell someone a kinesiologist in service, it's different than selling them a massage at a spa. But in this industry, there's not the choice. It's like you have to get your medicine through this cola.
Yeah.
Like it's like I just want the medicine, but you're forcing me to drink. Okay, like I'm like cool. I'll sip a drink for my medicine, but like people are coming in as consumer, like that 15% you talked about, that new, and they're acting like consumer, and it shows. Or they're pre-formatted to listen to prescription-based Western medicine like pills, like one size fits all, where cannabis is very dialed in with, well, this affects you this way, and there's this type, and the palate awareness of your average stoner is higher than most even wine drinkers.
I see cannabis and wine as like almost the same thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So
But your
sensitive,
average
yeah.
Karen who drinks a glass of wine doesn't know as
That's
much about the
true.
grapes as your average daily smoker who knows about the strains.
Exactly, for sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's funny when I tell people that, I'm like, wine and weed are so similar. They're like, how do you mean? I'm like, it's
Connoisseur, fucking sommelier.
sensory based. Have you ever been to a winery? First thing they do is they give you like a flight tasting. You know what I mean? And how else would you understand that wine and cheese or that, that marriage of flavors without it?
The pairing.
Right.
And the pairing is the other huge thing. We're getting into events as discipline stunners, and that's what we want to do. We want to do a food pairing, whether it's infused or not. It could be
Yeah, you can add terps to your wine and stuff, like crazy.
rosemary wine, and then give it with the
And
thing
you
that complements
you
it.
just
Or
did like the little it's like nitrogen, and it's like in a condensed, it's like smoking out of your glass. It's
Ooh,
nuts.
pretty.
But every sip you just get that essence and like everything about that terp.
Oh, I
That's
love
very
that.
cool.
So yeah, all the fun that we can have in those levels. And that's an interesting part on the back end with the brands. There's a lot of hesitation about what they can or can't do as far as like brand messaging. There's been some red tape on the marketing elements, but that's the gray area that kind of like we serve as the culture of like, look, we can come together, have this experience. Maybe there's a Sweet Joe, shout out Sweet Justice, we know them. Maybe there's a this or that on the table. Oh, fuck, there's two Sweet Justices and proper. All right, So you know who we fuck with. Shout out Sweet Justice, you know, and that's the experience. And that's the peripheral that the bud tender influences the person on the average day-to-day as well. So how can a brand access you, yo, other than like DMing you on Instagram? Like, what do you think, let's talk about the industry for a minute. What do you think needs to be set up? Like, we briefly talked outside about how can someone progress? Is there a parallel to the corporate ladder in the cannabis industry yet? Like, has legalizing it done a good job of offering opportunity for expansion to
honestly,
someone?
it's more, it's really just, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Who you know. So it's just like every industry, basically, like that.
I mean, it's not
And
what
it
it helps when you know a lot, but I mean, that's what gets you in the door with the who you know.
Okay, yeah, that's
You know
fair.
what I mean?
If we're looking at alcohol prohibition, it took 10, 15 years for
Right.
it to...
Did we ever buy alcohol from shops like this back in the day where they had to give it to you?
Yes,
Really?
that's
Yeah.
how it started.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you
And
look
it was
into the
behind,
history
it wasn't
of it,
allowed
yeah,
to
you
be-
couldn't see it in the public. There was someone who had it in the back, and you could only order a certain amount.
Like the beer store. You know
Like,
how the
it's
beer store
really
works?
Similar.
Where they
to-
just have the labels and they go get it for you?
But that was
Okay.
back in what, the 50s or something, or the 60s.
No, Prohibition was ended in the 30s, I guess, or
Wasn't it after the
1922.
war?
1922, isn't that Prohibition? That's when Prohibition started.
Yeah, that's
Of
yeah.
cannabis.
No, it's 30s. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
30s.
Yeah, 30s.
Well, we'll have to look this up.
Yeah,
Hey, Jamie,
we're
fact
stoned.
check this. Yeah, we smoke. But yeah, so how can they access you further, or what do you think needs to be done in the industry, or what were you saying, Winnie?
Fuck, I don't remember now.
Well, we were talking about Prohibition and having to get the weed behind.
No,
and-
I know. I think I had something before that, but I honestly...
You were talking about the Prohibition era and like how when it went, but then I interrupted you and said that did we ever buy it like here?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But basically,
oh,
what I was asking you, what started all this shenanigans, is
yeah. What? This is a weed show.
Yeah, I know, I love it. But I'm saying, Dustin, what do you think needs to be? Do you think a union would be valuable? Like, what's happening in the legal industry, opportunity-wise, for bud tenders? Because
I mean, at
I
the
want to
retail
know.
level-
I want to know your voice if
at
you're
the
a bud
retail
tender.
level, I don't know. It should be like a testing ground, whether you like weed or not. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna get into this, get it in from the bottom up, right? As you progress, you should be able to unionize. I kind of think. I don't think everyone should just jump right in and get unionized because there's a lot of people who don't like this.
What would the unionization look like?
I don't know.
All right.
I have no idea.
There needs to be another step.
There just needs to be, yeah.
That's not such a harsh between, like...
There's no disparity, like
Jump.
less disparity. in the
And
How
I
can we
think
create
also, as we see legalities evolve and change within the industry, that will create more jobs. Like, it will
Right.
create a leveling up place, I do believe, over the course of time. That's why that came up, because
Yeah.
we're only 5 years in.
Yeah, there you go.
That's true, yeah.
So we found the root.
She answered the question. 100%.
Yeah,
You
she
answered
does
it.
that a lot. I mean, because we all do. Wow,
We got back to it. We circled back.
that is so fun. So, did you say what some of your favorite brands were? I can't remember.
No,
Yeah,
I
Weed
haven't
Me.
actually.
Oh, yeah, you said Weed Me, but-
Sitka. Sitka's doing huge things.
What's Sitka?
Sitka's a micro producer out on the island of BC.
Love that BCS so much.
Mm-hmm.
Sitka. I don't know. I don't know anything about them. Tell us about them.
I don't know much either. I just found out about them like a little while ago.
What cultivar did you look at and love?
I've tried their 88G13 hash plant across the TK, the strawberry lemonade, which is sour lemon OG or something, across their strawberry cough, and then
Is the strawberry cough a fucking awesome strain?
it's crazy.
Feels like a hug.
It's weird. Kyle Cushman made that thing huge.
I don't know. Kyle Cushman. See, man, this guy
Yeah.
has deep cuts.
Yeah, huge.
Deep
So
cuts.
He was the one who put strawberry cough on the map. That was his thing. That was like, I'm pretty sure that was his little in-house breeding project. He crossed the strawberry fields to a haze, so it's basically a strawberry flavored haze.
I feel like you need to document some of this knowledge you have, bro.
I don't know.
like a
how
blog.
I don't know how I've cataloged it. That's my thing.
Like a blog. Like, just sit and write about your experience in cannabis or something. I don't know. But anyway, you're
What-
very talented in this space, and I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, my guy.
I have 2 more questions, if I can remember. The first one is, everyone that we have on, well, not everyone, but a lot of people that we have on really use the plant in their day-to-day lives to make their lives easier, more accessible, functioning, all of those things. Do you have that relationship with cannabis, or is this something that you've just done for so long that it can't not be in your life?
It's a bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely a bit of both. I don't know anyone who doesn't find cannabis like anyway beneficial, meditative, anything like that. But at the same time, once you've done it for as long as I have, it's pretty much all you know.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
But it's not so much just one factor in cannabis. It doesn't. The only thing I'm really unfamiliar with is the extraction game. Like, that takes a little bit more science than growing.
Hash makers like Joe.
Yeah. And that's how
Not
you're
even
the real
so
deal.
not even so much hash makers, because like you can make great hash. Bubble hash is just technique and things like that. But gold in, gold out, obviously. But when it comes to using like solvents, like that kind of stuff, it's,
Like BHO extraction type stuff?
I mean, everyone's made BHO. I mean, just
Everyone's made
it's
BHO.
yeah, I mean, everyone's made it before, right?
For sure. I think
but-
they teach that in kindergarten.
But I mean, it's just, I don't know, learning about just how to use closed loop systems, things like that. These are something that
Closed loop system?
Yeah, open loop. It's
What does that mean?
These are just different extraction systems.
Oh, man.
Like I said, I'm not a geek on extractions.
Obviously, you are a little bit, though.
I mean, I know a little bit about them.
That's
but
sick.
What would you say to, I'm just trying to keep these going as they come. What would you say to someone who has had a negative experience with cannabis before and they don't want to try it again because of that one isolated experience, or maybe like a couple?
I would dive into what that experience was. Try to remove whatever.
Do the work?
Negative. Yeah. Well,
Do the work?
How did that come to fruition? You know what I mean? What did you feel? What was the problem?
Such a good answer, dude. Such a good answer.
Right.
I actually don't know if I've even ever thought of that myself.
Everyone tries to quantitate it. What did you have? What strain? They try to get to the data. My man here goes, why don't you deal with your shit? Why don't you fucking wake up and take responsibility for why that emotion was your reaction and explore that? Hey, I got the perfect thing that can help you explore that.
Yeah, here you go. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's so wonderful.
Well, it's like smoking it's like, remember the haze I smoked you down at the corner?
Yeah,
Lenny?
you fucked me up off that shit.
love
Yo,
that.
I snuck up with a fucking killer joint of some dark shadow haze. I was like, yo, you want to hit this? And by the time she got home, she's so cool.
And did you, was that a sativa?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh my God.
Hazes are, yeah, but
I
you get
sat down
groovy.
on my couch and I was like, not leaving from here.
That was 33%.
Was that a legacy market?
No, that was Elios's dark shadow haze.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've tried Elios's Pineapple Express.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't slip on the dark shadow haze.
Yeah.
Dark Shadow Haze by Elios.
Yeah, I believe it's a grape ape Neville's wreck, which is Neville's haze crossed a train wreck.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Dude,
Rare dankness is the breeder, Scott Reach.
gangster. The genetics thing. You can play genetics roulette.
Honestly,
you can play strain roulette.
This is a skill. Like if you want to learn to navigate all this nonsense in the cannabis industry, genetics are the way.
People,
Genetic
I think,
expressions are the only way you can guesstimate anything in this. Like if you're gonna take a wild guess at a jar and it's only got a cross on it, well, if you have any knowledge in cannabis, you can figure it out just by that cross. Never mind the name.
so good. And then, but you are like a sommelier in the way that you keep track of the harvests, meaning the year. So in wine, you can go, that's a 2008 vintage, and in this region, I know that was a good year. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, but Ghost Drops, this next harvest though?
But I mean, that all comes from dialing in. So if you run something, you should run it 3 times, and that's dialing in. So the third time will be the best time that you ran it, because you figure out all the little kinks.
So you're anticipating the good harvest. So you're like a stockbroker as well. I feel like after we release this episode, you're going to get some messages about some consulting or something.
Also, maybe a growing for beginners class.
I mean,
or
you could
something.
formulate a piece of content that can really help people get
And
a
the
grasp.
funny thing is I don't even feel that I know a lot. like
because who you're standing with, right? That's what I realized when I came back from like being at Playlist Live with all these big creators. It's like, oh damn, I feel small fry. But then out here in these streets, no, you're actually you're a sponge at just all this OG knowledge. So you're actually really valuable. You should know that.
Yeah, I mean but it's like, the knowledge only goes so far. You know what I mean? It's practical.
Applying it,
yeah. Like I said, so the way I learned things wasn't your average. You know what I mean? I go to school, I learn theory, and I try it.
We heard.
I had to go. I had to screw up. I had to, you know what I mean? And this took a decade of my life.
So you gotta care.
It always takes a decade.
That's what me and Wendy were getting to. It's like, you think it's 5 years to get established, my guy. It's 10 years to become fully that thing.
Yeah. Just don't worry about it. If you haven't done it for 10 years yet and you still like it, just keep doing it for 10 years.
Just keep going. Just follow your passions and you'll never lose.
I love that. Wow. Well, we started with the concept of, you guys were saying, just as we were rolling, you said caring is a double-edged sword. It sounds like caring is the way.
Well, it is and it isn't, because sometimes you can care too much, lose focus. I've done it.
What do you mean care too much and lose focus?
On some sort of aspect of things. You know what I mean? Put too much of, you know what I mean? It's just
you mean focus too hard on like
care too much about little things, overthink that kind of, you know what I mean?
Fuck that. No, that's not caring. In my definition, so I'm glad we clarified that. I'd say caring is like that. I don't know how we're gonna get there, but I know we're gonna get there. So I care like that. I care about it. I get back to it. All details are figured out in the moment. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel you. When you over care, meaning you covet or have anxiety for or care too much, like I hear you.
And honestly, you give off different energy when you do that. When the opportunity,
it's desperate.
When the opportunity comes, you may miss it.
Yeah, so you're right. You should be over here. So that's what I'm thinking. Like, you care about it, meaning that's where you're going to get that 10 years, that 10,000 hours, because you haven't kept track of showing up every day. You're just showing up every day. Mm. Yeah. Sick. Win, what do you think?
I got lost, guys. I got lost.
Well, we know what we're saying, and at least 65% of you know what we're saying.
Yeah, there's a chunk of you.
No, I think that I just cared too much on something and my brain went a different direction. As you guys
so it hit her. Oh, I love that. Love and blessings. Love.
Yeah.
Okay, man. Where can people find you?
Sticky Nuggz.
Sick. Yeah. And any closing comments? We'll probably wrap her up here.
Grow weed.
Grow weed.
Yeah.
Grow weed.
Grow weed. Yeah. The whole world needs to learn how to grow weed.
Oh, I love that sentiment. Bless. Winnie, any closing thoughts?
Just thanks so much for that conversation. That was really fun.
That was really good.
And thank you for bringing your knowledge to the legal industry, because we
Thanks
do
for
need
having
you.
me.
So please stay.
We need you. We need that deep love and knowledge. If you want to visit Dustin, come check out Sticky Nuggz.
Shout out
Fort
Sticky
York.
Nuggz. Thanks for this awesome setup here on location again.
Shout out to Kris. Thank you.
Yeah, shout out Kris, Sam. We're
we'll
gonna
get
try and
Kris
get him
on
on
here real quick.
We'll try to get both of them on.
Okay.
Love, guys. Be well. Check out our Patreon if you haven't already. Subscribe, tell a friend, screen cap this, and tag Dustin on Instagram. Peace. So good.
That was so great.
Double decker flows on the road. What you know about a couple levels up when I move and I go around it. I'm only focused on where I'm going. I don't beat around it. I leave them so astounded, so astounded. All I know is that the hustle don't stop.
Hear it real good.
I just got the giggles out of nowhere all of a sudden.
I think you're like nervous or something.
No, maybe that's what it was.
Kris.
Hi.
How you doing?
Guess who's back?
Back again.
I know.
Kris is back.
And this is even going to be just even like a shorty. We'll still have to have you on for a longie.
Yeah.
A nice little sesh.
Welcome back.
Thank you for having me as always.
Thank you for
always
having
great
us.
to be with you guys.
Yeah.
This is so sick. This background, I've been just looking. I'm like, this is the coolest
All
episode
the
ever.
bongs.
Yeah, we're so happy to be here. So you're the queen of Sticky Nuggz.
I guess so. Yeah, that's what people keep on telling me.
Yeah. And as we've had you on briefly at Kind,
Yes.
Which was so good, and we talked about how your optimistic voice is so refreshing. But this is your domain. This is where you cultivate
this
and
is my
train.
element.
Is this where you're at mostly, this store?
Most of the time,
Okay.
I am kind of like everywhere at the end of the day, even just like looking at new locations of where we should be in the future.
Yay.
But yeah, I'm kind of like here most of the time.
You wear a lot of hats, don't you?
Yeah, I do. But I can't complain about them. I'm very, very grateful to have that many
Yeah.
hats.
Do you have is there a certain aspect about the business that you really love, or is it the generalities of sort of everything, like jack of all trades, knowing within?
I would say jack of all trades completely, because I think even as like bud tender all the way up, I think it's important to just know the industry as a whole completely. But personally, I really love interacting with the consumers. Like, it's so interesting to be like, oh, I didn't like this, I liked this did well for me, this didn't. And it might even like have you looking back at what you consume and kind of like open the door to other things out there. So I think that aspect of it might be my most favorite.
Incredible attitude.
Yeah.
So good.
I've seen you work the till, and you're like, who doesn't want to talk to you? Like, it's just, you're really good with customer service.
Thank you so
one of-
much.
And
Yeah.
when he had that job, you guys were in a similar position at retail
Yes,
stores.
yep.
So
Yeah.
you know the
Yep.
stresses of it and the elements of having to be prepared.
Completely.
And you're both girls.
Yeah.
Oh, girls.
I love it.
GIRLS.
You're just
Woman.
you're boss woman of the cannabis industry. I love that.
Can of Queens
Can of
is my
Queens.
favorite thing. I love that. Can of Queens.
I think there was someone. I think there is. Oh, Queen of Bud.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
I don't think they're in Toronto anymore.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty Alberta. I think they started.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, she didn't. They didn't quite make it here in Ontario, which is fair, honestly.
That was awesome what you guys were talking about before. But I'm high. I just smoked some laughing gas.
Laughing gas, and you had the jealousy going too.
Oh, and
And
the
you had the
jealousy
jealousy.
black market. That's what got me. I'm like, I just had a
Faded.
brilliant question, but now I'm just like, these lights are nice.
I got faded at the end of the last sesh, so it's okay that you're here now.
Yeah.
That's why you guys balance each other out so well.
But like, yo, so you're at the ground floor. What you just said though is really the telltale sign of like we were just talking about with Dustin is caring. So you know, to tie that in, it's like it seems like you are fascinated and focused on like the exact point of cannabis retail, and I think that's so that target is often missed. By people who have even opened up shops themselves, and then they have one perception of how it's going to be and what you're going to focus on and how life is going to go. And it's like,
Yep.
generally, as you said, as we were chatting off camera, you're like, this is retail. Like, this is retail. Like, you know, so you're really focused on that element. What is the most challenging thing that you see going on with cannabis right now? And then we'll go into what we're grateful for. But just why not? Because I'd love to hear from your perspective.
Our regulations.
Yeah.
I think our regulations were, as much as Canada, Ontario, the provinces want to be like, oh, we're doing so, I'll say the government wants to say, we're doing so well in cannabis. And it's like, you know what? We are in a sense, but if we compare ourselves to the States, we are light years behind.
Yeah.
Light years behind. So I think there just has to be, especially like I was saying, the consumer end. I would love to open up something and be like, here, touch it, smell it, see what you're going to have. That to me
Literally
is
just
where I think our industry needs to go. It needs
Absolutely.
to given the opportunity not to just sell a box or a
Yes.
little tube.
to. Trust
It's
me,
like-
I'm telling you the truth. It's all good. Like,
And
I
you
mean,
can
only
check the
play off-
harvest, and you
Yep.
can, like, winemakers allow you to taste.
Yes.
And, you know, you're right. It's like your hands are tied when it comes to actually giving someone an experience.
Completely.
Yeah.
Weird.
You can only do so much with a picture that you took of the cannabis yourself.
Right.
Right? Because that's kind of where I come down to. Like at the very end, if I'm like, okay, I have a picture, it was great, smokes great, and then
even
you
thought-
zoom in on the nug and
Yeah.
you're like, look at it, it's beautiful. So I think in that sense, we need to definitely, and of course, edibles.
The dosage
We made
has to be
some
higher.
leeway.
It has to. Personally,
Yeah.
like like you guys are the exact same way. All of us connoisseurs, or people have been consuming for a very long time, I should say, we all need something that's stronger than 10 milligrams.
Yeah.
Like I can take a 10 mil and
Yeah.
I'll be able to do everything else normally. So I mean,
Yeah.
I think we got to move towards that like 300, 400, 500. And of course, with bud tenders, that's the education aspect, right? So I think if you're hiring the right bud tenders, they're going to be able to share that information and all the health and safety stuff that come along with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even feel like there needs to be any health and safety right now because no one's going to overdose on a 10 mil.
No one's
Yeah,
ever.
no.
Yeah.
The
Right
worst
now?
that's going to happen is like maybe you trip out.
Maybe you'd fall asleep.
But not even trip out. Like you'll never green out like you
No.
do on legacy edibles. So I don't know why I got on this tangent, but
you talked
right,
about,
though, completely.
You talked about something hiring bud tenders. Now this is fascinating and interesting. We found it difficult as disciplined stoners to like pin down dates with
Yeah.
bud tenders, even though they're such a valuable, important voice in the industry and how the market moves and what consumer choices are being made. How has it been sourcing passionate? Because I'm assuming that you're associated with the hiring here.
Yeah, I actually do all the hiring for
Okay,
all of
so-
our stores. I'm
so,
in
like,
charge of all of that.
What do you look for? Because we talked about like Dustin, what's the opportunity looking like from the perspective of the bud tender, but on kind of behalf of the management, what's it been like sourcing or finding passionate people, or are people coming because they just want like a job, like a Staples job, like and and it's now available, or are you getting people coming that are like gung ho about it? How has that been? Because it's my least favorite part of being a musician is managing the band.
Yeah, it's definitely a learning process completely. But I will say that I did notice that at the beginning during COVID, it was a lot harder to find more of the people that were on the forefront of education of cannabis and didn't just be like, yeah, I just smoke it to get high. It's more of kind of like, what does it work for you and all that. So
They didn't care to go deeper.
yeah, I don't know. I found that at the beginning more of hiring, but now you're seeing all these people. Dustin, for instance, like he has an awesome resume, Amsterdam, California. But personally, when I look at a resume to begin with, I don't try to comprehend like, oh, shoe store and all that kind of stuff, because cannabis is still new.
Yeah.
We're only 4 years out of it being legal. So I think that you have to have an open mind going into it, because I mean, I was a teacher and I was a stoner at that point, but no one would ever know, right? Looking at
Right,
my
'cause you're
resume.
functional,
So
or- yeah.
I think it's about bringing those people in, giving the opportunity, and asking the right questions. Asking the right questions.
Because you landed,
definitely.
he's awesome, and
he's
like
great.
being able to like look through that lens of being able to value someone like that, like that's really important.
Yeah.
So it shows
Completely.
in the crew and the great experience you have when you come to Sticky Nuggz. But yeah, that's must have been interesting. Do people usually come to you, or do you source bud tenders, or what does that pool look like?
So I actually have recently, I mean, with us expanding, we've had a few people reach out to us, of course, but in the beginning, you have to put that Indeed ad out there, of course, being fresh business and all that. But at the end of the day, like I said, it just comes down to you bringing them in, giving the opportunity for conversation and questions, and just learning who they are as an individual and why they decided to get into cannabis as a whole, not just the industry itself.
You look through the heart.
Yeah.
Not so much. I mean, definitely the head. Like, you have to be like, is this a fully functioning person? But you're interested of like the backstory of yeah, how much they care and how much of a personal history they have with
Exactly.
it. And that's what I think this interesting divide that I can feel going at as disciplined stoners is like the legacy and the legal thing. Like there's no bridge. So it's like, there you go, direct insight access to like, someone in an expanding weed business looking, for people in that capacity that, cares who you are with the plant,
Yeah,
not
it's
just what you are, because I think a lot of people feel like it's moving from legacy to legal is like moving from India to Canada with a doctor's, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not going to be respected here, but it will.
Really is.
It will
like
with
if you
at
find
least.
the right places to go, and like for us, Sam was from Legacy. I remember working markets with him in the parking lots and stuff like that. Like I loved that. Those were amazing. I loved those. So I think people from the Legacy market, you just got to find the right people to come into the legal market.
Yeah.
The
That's
team.
all it is. That's all it is.
Click
if you
up.
have that passion
Yes.
where you're going into, whether it be a grow facility, a store, even just like an office building, you just have to know that the passion is going to be where you want to put yourself.
Yeah.
You really serve the plant. You're really like on the mission. It
Yes.
makes sense that like your pop Sam is
Oh,
like, you know,
thanks.
that you've come through that lens. Like you're really actively serving it, like wherever you got to be. Like that's like, you know, hip hop for me like expresses itself in many ways. And like whether it's like education, like, you know, like being in the store, like being at the events, like just like it's very important that we all
Completely.
kind of hold our space for our culture to expand in the industry. That's beautiful.
And it's so interesting because that makes the cannabis industry, specifically in retail, kind of unique in the fact that like it isn't just like a job for in exchange for money. Like
Yeah.
you can
Completely.
go to the LCBO and get a job and not be interested and be willing to learn
Exactly.
and be able to put those things into boxes. But if you don't consume weed, it's going to be a lot trickier for you, even as a bud
100%.
tender.
To
like,
comprehend the product,
Yeah.
and then to
Completely.
therefore understand the consumer.
yeah,
Especially
not
if
one.
someone's like, "Oh, well, how was your experience?" And you have no answer for them
Oh
at
my
the
God.
end of the day, right?
Right, because you're always like, this is like this, and like, yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's-
I'll be like, "Oh, I had this feeling behind my eyes." Like it's so much nicer when you get that personable kind of like review about cannabis as a whole.
Yeah.
yeah.
Completely.
I agree.
I've met several bud tenders actually that I've asked that, and they have responded with "I don't smoke." Now they
And
didn't
then
go,
I
they
leave.
didn't go on to say if they consume in other ways, so I don't know if they don't consume
good
whatsoever.
call, no judgment.
Yeah, but I was like, oh, crazy.
Well, like for example, we have someone at Steele's. They don't they don't smoke. They just vape, and then they
Yeah.
do edibles and drinks. But they're always making sure that they're looking into the information behind the flower, no matter
Nice.
what. Because, like I said, if you're interviewing these people and asking them the questions, if you're asking the right questions, you're going to know at the end of the day that they're passionate about learning.
Yeah.
Not just about cannabis, but about the industry as a whole.
Yeah.
And what they're coming into, right?
Yeah, for sure. And like also like I think that you should consume in one way or another if you work at a retail store.
Completely.
I just don't know why you would do it otherwise.
Yeah, no, I
Do
agree
you know
because
what
I mean, I love when like, say for instance, my employee at Steele's, if someone comes in, they're like, hey, I haven't smoked in 25 years. I haven't consumed anything at all. And they're like, you know what? Here, try this edible, start
Yeah.
low, go slow. And they can give them their own kind of lightweight personal experience. So
Yeah.
it's nice to have like both ends.
Yeah,
almost,
totally. Yeah, we
completely.
worked with someone who, or I worked with someone who pretty much strictly did CBD. So, but like then she became a wealth of knowledge in that area.
Oh, lovely.
And so that was so valuable still, right?
Completely. And it's captivating as a consumer in general.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah, I know. CBD.
Yeah, CBD is great. CBG, there's so much stuff.
There's a new
CBN.
one. I think something called CBC is
Yep.
coming out.
Yep,
Yeah.
there's
Oh,
that
huge,
one.
right?
CBC,
Yeah.
PSN.
There's so many, like there's thousands of different cannabinoids. Like we're never gonna, I personally don't think we're ever gonna discover all of them.
Totally.
I mean, the
Yeah.
Mother Nature gives us a new plant
Yeah,
all the time, right?
species.
So I think
Absolutely.
learning and all that aspects is never going to stop, ever.
But we do have some great selections
Yes.
currently available
yeah.
to us.
Yes.
That maybe we wanted to talk about. I'm gonna
Yeah.
talk about
Oh,
these
yeah.
these sticky Nuggz nuggets, yo. It's like proper dosaging,
Yeah.
okay, and that
Completely.
means like, you know, use at caution because like also like CBD can get you mad feeling like a cloud, and that's what
Yeah.
I've loved to drift on into super chill mode with, but. You have these incredible, it's 9 pieces, and they're 50 milligrams CBD each. These like most delicious edibles on the market. Like these, there's a lot of surface area.
Yes.
So you can dose yourself effectively because it's 50. So it's like why are these so big?
Yeah,
That's-
we're actually the biggest single edibles on the whole market.
Are you serious?
So 50 milligrams, that's the highest on the whole market.
that you can do like.
No, not that you can do, but we just saw the gap in that.
Right.
Because we have so many
Yeah.
consumers, like even elderly people that come in, they're like, I don't smoke. I don't smoke the plant in general, but I do like my CBD.
Yeah.
And they were like, I want something that has 50 milligrams and no THC. And we're like, you know what?
You literally
We gotta
listen
fill
to the
this.
consumer.
So that's exactly what we did. We have 2 of our customers, and they're awesome. And that's exactly what we did. We saw a need for the CBD, and it's an isolate as well. So I tell a lot of people, personally, I would usually take CBD at nighttime, more of a relaxation effect. That's how it affects me personally. But these ones, I can wake up in the morning and eat a square and come to work and do
Nice.
everything I got to do. So
Yeah.
it really is nice that it is an isolate. And there's also 3 different flavors in it. So we
Yeah.
have blue raspberry, watermelon,
Oh
and
my
grape.
God. It's too good. It's
They're
like
really
a candy.
tasty.
They're really,
I'm
really
glad
good.
there's not THC in them
And do
because
you know
I can't
actually
stop.
who we did these with?
Who?
Treat Leaf.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah. So if you guys remember Treat Leaf,
Delish.
they had the squares.
No.
Yeah, so they used to on the illegal side. So that, I mean, it goes back to our passion, right? We saw that like they had a great product.
You brought
We reached out to
legacy
them.
creators.
Yep.
Well, that's
we
the
did.
best.
We worked right with them.
That's the
dope.
bridge. Your acting is the bridge that I'm talking about. So important. So those are those, and those
Yes.
are delicious. And I'm so proud of you guys for bringing those to market
you
because
so much.
I heard about them since they were an idea, and now it's so glad that we're here and we can enjoy them, and
Completely.
they're very delicious.
Super yummy.
So that's your guys's,
Yes.
and we wanted to give a couple shout outs to a couple friends. Yeah, we'll get all these closer. You made some selections. I said,
Yeah.
well, also Steaky Nuggz, we'll do a walk around pan of the store, like an overlay for this part when I'm talking now. You can see when you walk into the store that it's like a vibe right away. And then you got the retail portion in the front. And then you can see they're the only store that I know of that has, especially like a well-lit wall, but like all the product out so you can see it.
Yeah.
So they've brought you the closest to what like that weed experience should be like us legacy folks are talking about. When you could go in and smell like you know, and all that stuff, which will
We
be.
were the first dispensary to do that.
Just show it.
putting that out there.
So-
we were the very first dispensary to do this. Everyone else followed suit.
I believe you.
Yeah.
So it's like that in itself is such a cool, impactful visual when you walk in the store. But I said, pick from this huge wall of all these options. And once you come here, you realize as a consumer, like how it works, like price point wise and like quality wise, like you only bring in great products. I will say,
Yeah.
even like the value buys you have are bangers. But like you get to know the wall and the flow of it, and it's a cool vibe like that. But like you chose out of all those products, a couple products that you wanted to say hi to. So please tell us about these.
I want to shout out. I have the MTL Sage and Sour. We just ran out of our pre-rolls, Emily. And then we have the Amber, the Gelato, the vape cart. Shout out to Emily from Velvet. Girl, you are one of my favorite canna queens in this whole industry. I love you. You're the kind of person that we need, like these guys here. The passion, the drive, the honestly, like the personable. She comes in and hangs out for hours.
Let's go.
Hours.
Good people. They
We
care.
talk, we do work together. Like, she's awesome. So I think people like that, like, we need more people like that in this industry.
Make it a
100%.
hang.
Shout out.
Shout out Emily.
Shout
I love
out
you, girl.
Emily.
I love you.
Emily, good people. Yeah, MTL. Is that the Sage and Sour?
It is a
I love it.
classic. It's a
Delish.
classic.
When there was no sativa on the market that I could enjoy, because they all like give me paranoia after House Plant. I learned of these guys after, because House Plant had a great sativa, and then they left, and then I was like, oh, now that this was for me.
It's a
like
classic.
You know, this is from the legal market. If you want to source a sativa, it's this.
Yeah, great price. Always has awesome terps.
Yeah.
Super important.
And very hairy buds.
Yes.
Somehow they keep it very fresh like that.
Yeah, and the people that actually grow it are really, really nice people.
You
And
can
I
feel it.
think
Good group, yeah.
it's pretty CBG heavy, which is meant to be like an anti-inflammatory and
Completely.
also anti-anxiety. And that's for a lot of people, sativa's like anxiety central.
That's
Yeah.
me.
So this is apparently supposed to be able to, which would make sense that it worked for you.
Yeah.
Keep that sort of anxiousness at bay while
yeah.
still getting the sativa energy.
Completely.
So might be worth a try if you're looking for something like that.
100%. Definitely.
What and so sick. Shout out them. What's this?
The classic. And it's funny because I smoked one of these with you guys on the last one that I was on.
Oh,
Did
yes.
you really?
Shout out Cyrus. I love you, man. You're great. Blunt Bay, Blunt Talk, like all of you guys are great. This one here, we have the gold seal hash snake. I think this is definitely what we needed in the industry when it comes to hash in a pre-roll. There's a lot of hash that's sifted within flour in pre-rolls, whereas these guys just stick this whole hash snake just right in the joint. Right around the weed.
Straight through the center?
Oh, yeah, baby. The classic way you're supposed to do it.
We're going to have to break this open. We're going to have to break this open. We're
Yeah,
gonna have to
really
smoke
nice.
this
The
after
second
this.
I got this, like, and Sam made
Are
me
you
a hash
serious?
person.
Yeah,
So, like,
isn't
I'm
hash
super
great?
into hash.
Yeah,
And,
he
like,
loves hash.
I don't know, personally, like, some of them have, like, done okay for the hash joints that we have, the infused ones, but this was awesome. This gave me my most, like, classic, old school hash
Wow.
feeling on the market, for
What
sure.
type of hash is it in there? Gold
That
seal,
one,
is it?
Yep, that one
okay.
is gold seal, yeah,
Cool.
which is great. Gold seal,
That's-
Afghan.
that's what you know.
Those
Yeah.
are always, like, the top ones to go for completely.
Yeah, shout out them. I see
Yeah.
they had a cool booth
awesome.
at Kind Summer Fair. They were like directly across from you guys.
Oh, yeah.
And we met that awesome dude, Slays the God, who's a fighter. He was over there too. We gotta have him on as well.
Super cool guy.
But yeah, cool. I've Cyrus, you said is the guy.
Cyrus,
I've not
yeah.
I've not hung out with him yet.
Oh
And it's
man,
like
I'm
we're-
telling you,
we-
he came right up to me the first time I met him.
His
Handed me a
vibes, though.
14-gram bag of weed and was like, "Enjoy." I was like, "I will remember you for the rest of my life."
Of course you love this guy, Cyrus. I'm really expecting the same love, bro. But it's okay. I'll always give it
Oh,
back.
Cyrus is amazing.
I
All
love
of them,
that.
Blunt Bay,
No, it
like
creates-
another can of Queen.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Creates awesome, cool content.
Yeah.
Did we forget about this
cool
one?
people? No, we will never forget
Never,
about
ever,
Ghost Drops.
ever.
Ghost Drops, man. Travis, organic.
These are some of our like dearest friends.
They're dope
too.
people.
Like they're
and
awesome.
Samantha over at Ghost
Yeah.
Drops, like, dude,
Yeah.
like
The
cool
best.
ass killing queens.
Definitely.
So this is something that, like, I very rarely think that any products from the States or the States will rival us for anything.
Mm-hmm.
I very rarely. This, I'm like,
I love that triple threat pack.
this
triple
is,
threat
I'm
is
like, oh,
great.
I'm sorry, LA, you don't have Ghost Drops. I'm like, I'm gonna feel bad for you guys who don't have this. This is a little
Yeah.
gem here,
Yeah.
and it's a banger gem. Please talk about that.
So this is a 3-pack, like they say, the triple threat. I mean, the name says it all. So we have the First Class Funk, which was one of their first drops, along with the Z Splitter. Those were their
Cultivating
first
Happiness.
two. Yeah. Oh yeah. So nice and frosty. So I mean, First Class, the range already is at 33%, which is awesome. And like I said, you can't forget about those terps. So the First Class terps on the is at 1.8. And then we have the Z Splitter, a nice little fruitiness to that. That one's at 24.4, and then 2.4 terps.
Nice. That's pretty
Khalifa Mints, which is personally one of my favorites.
Oh
That's
my
probably
God.
my top favorite from Ghost Drops.
Oh
That's
my
at
God.
24.2%, and then 1.5 terps.
good. Yeah.
I'm surprised to hear that there's any terps under 2% because of, like, if you
stank.
open that right now, you can smell like the beautiful fragrance. Like, that's the most fragrant pre-rolls on
Yeah.
the market, I'd
That's
say.
the same thing though with Tribal. You look at
Yeah.
Tribal's products and they're over 2, but like you open it and you're like, this is like an 8% terp.
Yeah.
It slaps you.
yeah.
slaps you.
Yeah, and the high, man, like, because these are 0.5s, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's
these are 0.5s,
3.5s.
3.5s in a pack.
And
These are awesome.
like, for me not to get through a 0.5 and like be high doesn't happen.
Yeah.
The only thing that used to happen was the Ace Valley Kosher Kush, which I used to
what a
love.
throwback.
Those. I know, major throwback.
I know.
It's
Oh,
crazy
we
to
love
think
that.
like how much stuff has come out since.
I know.
And yeah,
Wild,
Came
wild.
and
it
gone.
is. Yeah.
But yeah, these are. And I like the 3-pack. So I like the
Yeah.
3-pack 0.5. But yeah, those hit
And
me
I
too.
wish we had. I'm just gonna do. I don't have it on me, but the Coco's Cookies by Dankcraft.
Let's go.
yeah.
Guys,
So it's
I
a
got
GMO.
those- yes.
Yeah.
But John did like an actual like special cross to the GMO because he wanted to make sure he got as legacy GMO as possible.
It was the grower cocoa. It's named after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. I swear I got those 2 packs. I've been like trying to scrounge not to smoke them because they just came out actually yesterday.
Dankcraft, you need to give us more at your parties, bro.
Well, we just picked them up in our order at both of our stores.
I'm such a fucking Canna influencer bitch.
Oh my God.
Give me more free product, bro.
More weed.
I had 4 packs already.
Aren't they good?
Well, I smoked 3 of them there.
Yeah.
They're
This
so
hard not
fucking
to.
good.
The smell, the terp, the smell
Yeah.
on that was nuts too.
So
Like
cool.
Mushroom,
yeah,
garlic,
so much garlic, mushroom,
onion.
onion.
I
like,
love the
insane.
garlic. And there's
Yeah.
a lot of GMOs out there. And like, I don't know, truthfully, that was the realest GMO
That
I've had
bangs.
since the illegal side, of course.
It bangs.
Oh, it was awesome.
I've only tried GMO post legal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
me-
and GMO was like, I really usually buy premiums, but spinach GMO.
Well, that's a GMO
Introduce-
cookie.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So
and
different.
the cocoa cookie is a GMO cookie.
Yeah, a GMO, yeah.
GMO
Oh.
usually lives as a GMO cookie, yeah?
Oh.
Yeah, cookies usually get like more any kind of cookie cross, like a
Yeah.
Mandarin cookie.
It's like an OG Kush.
Yeah,
it's like
you
lives
get that
as
strong
the mother.
body high.
Yeah.
Cookies.
Very, very
Cookies is the
okay.
new OG Kush. Remember in Legacy,
Yeah.
everything was something OG or
If I
something
say the
Kush.
word OG to like some of the older like gentlemen that come in, they're like, "What OG? I love the OG."
Yeah.
So I totally know what you're saying.
So fun. So wow, we really covered a lot here.
Yeah, we did. Holy shit.
We talked about some friends.
Yeah, we did.
Well, thank you for coming on a second time.
Yeah, round 2. It was
Round
amazing.
2.
And another collab episode.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we'll just keep extending these until we fully have you on as a
Next
full
time
solo.
we drag Sam.
Yes, Sam, you want to come say hi real quick? Yo, maybe we can get him to do
Hiding
a
in the
walkthrough.
shadows.
He will not.
That's why he forces me. He's like, "You are
He's
the
not
face."
gonna
I'm
do
like,
it.
"You have to be
Don't
the
even
face."
ask. He's gonna get
Is he
mad
there?
at you.
Just tell him to give a wave. Give a wave.
Just give a wave. He's like, fuck
He's like,
this.
"Get out of here, Evan."
Like,
I told you, you just
no.
have to do it where you invite him over for dinner. You're like, "We're just gonna smoke and eat some food." Set up a little nanny cam and just talk about the industry, and then
just
he'll
pull up-
never know.
I'll pull up on him and vlog like this. Okay, so we're not gonna have Sam, but he's like, he did give me the promise. He said when he does, we'll be the first.
nice.
Oh yeah.
We got
So we
that
got-
exclusive.
Exclusive, you heard it here first. Chris, thank you for coming on.
Thank you
Yeah.
for having me again, guys. Like I said to when we were talking in there, and like you guys are awesome.
You're a
This is
joy.
what you need in this industry: is
Thank
the
you.
passion, the drive, the education, and most of all, the love.
We're blessed.
We need
We're
the
blessed
love.
to be here,
We need it.
honestly.
You
We
guys
do
are
need the
awesome.
love,
I
and we
love
got
you
the
guys.
love, and we're so happy. So yeah, swing through Sticky Nuggz. Check
Yeah.
out Sam. Check out Chris. Check out Dustin. Always cool people here talking
Yeah.
about weed. You also have this space here that like we need to do something with. Like when I first walked in here, I was like, yo. Sam, you took the liberty of like having all these iPads here to like just like become a gallery for people to learn about weed. He's like, yeah, but it's underutilized. And I'm like, no shit. Like nobody knows it's here.
No.
Like we need to like either do I was like a yoga class or some mindful
Yeah.
stuff, but definitely some education there. I'm surprised there's not more pop-ups here. So
Yeah, we do a few pop-ups, but
Yeah?
I don't know. I don't know. Personally, I find sometimes pop-ups are like a
They're
hit or
really
miss
tough.
sometimes.
They're
Like,
so tough.
brand activation pop-ups are just like stale, corny, corporate
Yeah.
bullshit. I'm talking about actual fucking dope shit.
Yes,
Like, I'm talking about
parties,
like some
like,
vibes, like
events.
real vibes.
Yeah.
So come through Sticky Nuggz.
Because
and
you're
see.
open till 11 p.m., right?
9 to 11 Monday to Saturday,
Like,
and then
why-
10
why-
to 11 on Sundays. So not much of a difference there.
So what,
Why am
what
I
about,
not DJing
what about like
here?
an 8 p.m. slow flow or something?
Oh
on a
yeah,
Sun-
100%.
On a Sunday.
You guys are
Sunday
always
night?
welcome here.
Oh
You know
my God.
that.
Okay,
People
Our
just
home is
walk
your
in, there's a
home.
class
Thank
doing
you.
yoga.
I would. Why not in Toronto? Honestly, I wouldn't put anything
Yeah,
past this
we'll
city.
go get
so-
high beforehand, come back
Yeah.
in, do a slow flow.
I
even,
love
yeah,
that.
even if
Fuck,
like there
I'm
wasn't
into it
people
too.
walking through, like the store could be
Yeah.
like open and they could still serve people here. Like people could come here and you
Oh,
remember like
1,000%.
COVID
Oh, yeah.
times,
No,
like
we can figure it out totally. Just use the little
yeah, they
runway
just
there,
come
block
in
it off.
like someone's
Yeah.
there and they're like, oh, they
No problem.
and then they'll be like, what's
Yeah.
going on there?
We could even get those fancy things that you changing things, room
Oh,
dividers.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking. Okay, we have to do
no,
something. something.
we'll let them see. Like
Yeah.
and be like,
No.
oh, how can they be involved in the
Yeah.
next one?
Okay.
That's how neighborhood buzz happens. You heard it here first.
But what if it's like just maybe like half covered?
All right, whatever you like with.
Yeah.
It seems like you're attached to this idea of having the room dividers.
I want
love it.
everyone to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Okay, well, there you
Important.
go. Stay in touch with us on Instagram to learn more about that. Where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram at Canna Christiana. And yeah, that's where you can find me.
We'll tag her
or in
this.
store right here at Fort York.
Yeah, and you got
downtown.
This is where you hang out the most.
Yeah,
eh?
this is this is mainly where I am. We do have our steals at Highway 27 in Steeles, which is like a 5-minute drive from the casino, I would say. But yeah, this is kind of my home base.
Nice. You need to get high before you go to that casino. Go check them out at Steeles, but you want to come check Kris, we'll be here at Sticky Nuggz.
Yeah.
Okay, love. Check out our Patreon, subscribe, tell a friend, and screen cap this and tag us and Kris.
Bamboo.
Bamboo.
Bye.
So natural.
Disciplined stoners. What's your discipline? You a stoner? That's cool. So are we.
I'm high a lot. It's weird to finally say that with pride. I'm high a lot. Being high has helped me with my anxiety. It's helped my social skills. Well, it's helped me feel okay about my shitty social skills. It doesn't make my social skills better, but it sure does make sitting in that awkward moment in a social interaction a lot more bearable. You know, that moment where no one in the group has anything left to say, and you desperately want to yell at all of them, just say something. Being high makes that hilarious and not torture.
Yo. It's Ellevan from Anger Town. These plants just help me chill out. Found focus. Found confidence. All of a sudden I was productive. Less protective. More progressive. Yeah, we talk about stuff like I'm a next sommelier. But this is about a medicine, baby. We wish everyone a mindful life. It's been a helpful tool for us. And whatever the route to peace, it's each individual's journey. And the more we communicate, maybe we can all help each other out. Love and light. Welcome to Disciplined Stoners Podcast with your host Ellevan.
And my name is Winnie.
And we are the gateway drug to mindfulness. And that's Ralph.
I hope you enjoyed that preparation for sleep meditation, exclusively only on our Patreon. Thank you so much for all of your support. Do you want to get in on this? Head over to our Patreon now at www.patreon.com/disciplined stoners, and you can get on anything you want to get on. So you should do it.
Disciplined Stoners!
The gateway drug to mindfulness.
Gateway drug to mindfulness. Let's roll one up and take a hit. Gateway drug to mindfulness. Let's roll one up and take a hit. Gateway drug to mindfulness. Let's roll one up and take a hit. Found a great drive in late nights, bright light stage flight, fight backstage fright from Monday night, rise to busking outside, to sold out show hype, to first class plane rides, now you've seen my life. I got double decker flows on the road, what you know about it, couple levels up when I move and I go around them, only focus on where I'm going, I don't beat around it, you know who you talking to, you can see by who's around them, double decker flows on the road, what you know about it, couple levels up when I move and I go around them, only focus on where I'm going, I don't beat around it, I leave them so astounded, so astounded. Smelling like money in this bitch, walking through the lobby at a motherfucking Ritz, yeah she got black lilac on the wrist, we just gotta move, gotta dip, make it quick. Fucking kidding me, I killed that.